Hello and welcome back to Simple Money Podcast, Canada's own personal finance podcast presented in short and informative episodes. I'm your host, Matthew Seawick, also known as the Friendly Financial Coach. One of the biggest wins that we gain along our financial education journey is empowerment. The amount of confidence that is gained from new knowledge and skills can be extremely powerful and life-changing. And one of the most challenging and overlooked areas of personal finances are income taxes. Often when learners are confronted with understanding taxes, it can quickly seem like an overwhelming system. Taxes can feel a lot like being in the circus. You have to jump through a bunch of regulatory hoops, while at the same time, you hope that you don't get eaten by the CRA lion. This anxiety and fear can prevent learners from benefiting from understanding how taxes work and how to take advantage of the legal opportunities out there. It could also lead to a pricey tax filing fee every single year that can be avoided. Well, I'm here to say that doesn't need to happen. In many cases, understanding how income taxes work doesn't need to be that complicated. You'll also kick those negative emotions to the curb and actually become excited about understanding how taxes work. The benefits from learning about taxes is massive and will complement your whole financial journey. Choices like understanding if investing in a tax-free savings or RRSP is better for you, or comparing the after-tax returns on investments will all of a sudden make sense. You'll also catch yourself randomly making tax-saving recommendations to your friends and families. Friend buying a house, there's a tax credit for that. Sister just had a child, loads of tax benefits for that. Plus, filing your taxes online has never been easier. I still remember the first time that I filed my taxes. It was through that old paper form that you'd have to fill out, and I remember how tedious this was. Now, there are so many websites that can help you do your taxes for free or for a marginal amount, like $30. Very often, companies will also offer free filings for students, those with incomes under around $20,000-ish, first-time filers, and those with simple taxes or just having a T4. And the process is so much easier than it used to be. You basically answer a bunch of questions and fill in the boxes from all of your slips. These questions will then prompt you to add any additional information that could yield further tax savings. And they have built-in tools that can help optimize tax returns. Now, the more challenging part is really to make the whole income tax situation a little clearer. And when it comes to understanding this process, a big strategy is by actually doing your own income taxes and then building off of that. With that being said, there are some instances where you should use an accountant, such as if you have a small business or if you're just stuck. But in many cases, it's fairly easy for salaried employees to do their own income taxes. So when it comes to navigating the system, the first step is to really look at the big picture and then work downwards. So the basic system of taxes is that you first calculate your taxable income, which then yields how much you have to pay in income taxes. This tax amount owing includes federal and provincial or territorial taxes. This amount is then reduced by any tax credits that you may be eligible for and by withheld taxes from your paycheck or installment payments. And then after that, if you underpaid, then you have to owe the CRA more money. But if you're overpaid, then you'll get a refund. So in a sense, tax filing season is really a time to review if you paid enough taxes or if you overpaid in taxes throughout the year. So let's go a little bit deeper into each section of how taxes are filed. The first step is to aggregate all of your taxable income, such as income from work, a business, investments, and more. And this is called your total income. All of your T-slips are playing their part here. The T4s, the T4As, T5s, and so on and so on. For those that own a small business, the income that would be included here is after business expenses are deducted. And after we total all of the income, we apply the income tax deductions, something that we speak about often on the show. The basic idea here is that specific eligible amounts directly reduce your total income that income taxes are applied to. Some of the more common examples of income tax deductions are RRSP contributions, childcare expense deductions, work from home expenses, professional dues, in some cases moving expenses, spousal support payments, and more. Once all of these deductions are applied, you have your taxable income. This amount is then run through the tax brackets to see how much you are required to pay in taxes, which remember includes federal and provincial or a territorial amount. The amount owing in taxes is then reduced by your tax credits. And this is a little bit confusing because the amount is a percentage of the eligible amount of the tax credit. For example, many tax credits in Ontario are around 20% of the total eligible amount. The most common tax credits here include a first-time home buyer's amount, medical expenses, the disability tax credit, the basic personal amount, tuition tax credits, and much, much more. And included in the show notes will be a link to a CRA page that actually lists all the eligible tax deductions and tax credits. So I encourage you to actually go through this list and see if any of them apply to you now or possibly in the future. So after the tax credits are applied, what you're going to have is the final amount of taxes owing. This amount is then reduced by the taxes that were withheld from your paycheck or paid through installments. Finally, you'll get a return if more taxes are withheld from your pay than you owe, or you'll owe if the opposite is true. So that's the basics on how the process works, and you'll see exactly how the math is done on your tax returns. The biggest ways that most people can save is by maximizing their usage of tax credits and deductions. Those that have small businesses can also utilize expenses. And as mentioned in the show notes, we've included a link from the CRA that lists all of the eligible tax credits and deductions. It also explains how to claim them and who can claim them. So taking a look at these can allow you to possibly take advantage of these during the current tax year and can help you make smart tax moves in future years. A big source of information also comes from the tax documents that are given to you once you make your filing. They list all of your types of income, tax credits, and deductions used. Having the understanding of how your tax base works will then allow you to explore other areas of finance to understand them further. This will help you navigate the taxes from investments, how to split income, and much, much more. Thanks again for listening to Simple Money Podcast. As always, if you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a rating or sharing with a friend or family. And if you have any questions, you can send me a direct email at info@ffcoach.ca. Take care. Talk to you soon.